everyone, and welcome back to the studio. So on Tuesday we looked at the best cadmium-free alternatives to cadmium yellow, cadmium red, cadmium orange, and today we are going to look at the best cobalt-free alternatives to cobalt, there's too many C's, to cobalt blue and cobalt turquoise. So if you're interested to find out what non-toxic alternatives to put in your palette, then you're in the right place. Grab your paints. Well, you might have some to test out. Maybe you can paint along with me. So grab your paints and let's get started. So today we are continuing on with our theme of testing the colours, looking for non-toxic alternatives. So we're looking at cobalt today. I've got cobalt turquoise in my palette here. I was on a blue mission. Cobalt turquoise is a colour. Often I find it goes really grainy and dry in my palette and crumbles and takes a lot of time to get ready to paint, and so I'm kind of up for finding an alternative anyway. So let's just get a nice sense of how it goes. And I mean, it is a wonderful colour, but yeah, like I say, I'm looking for a change. So phthalo turquoise from Rowney. Oh, there it comes. Tell that's brand new because it just needs a little bit of mixing up together. Oh, that is a lovely colour though. So let's get, that's a very, very thick amount of paint. I might just need to, it's quite sticky, very sticky, that colour. But wow, that's absolutely lovely, and a pretty close match as well, which is good because I don't have quite so many options for this round as the cadmiums. I was struggling to find colours of these kinds of hues that didn't feature cobalt. And it's funny because I'm going to totally overuse the word cobalt today, and my sister's cat is called Cobalt. So I feel like I'm talking to my sister's cat right now. But Cobalt the cat, we love you, but Cobalt the colours, we're looking for alternatives. Okay, that is lovely. Really vivid, very, very nice, and quite a good match. So next we have Winsor and Newton Aqua Green. All of these paints, I should say, are the professional artist quality versions. They're not the student quality versions. I always say, even if you're a true beginner with watercolour, if you can buy the best you can afford, meaning hopefully you can upgrade to the artist quality or professional quality paints, you won't be sorry because they last you so much longer. So sometimes the student brands can be a false economy because you get through them a lot faster. But I also appreciate if you're starting out and you just want to, just dip your toe, then they can be a good way to introduce you to watercolour. So this is nice. It's a lot darker when concentrated, but it's rather lovely. And now I look at these three, suddenly this is looking much closer in tone to cobalt turquoise rather than phthalo turquoise is looking maybe a little bit more aqua than the actual aqua. Okay, now we've got ultramarine turquoise from Daniel Smith. Coming out of the tube very slowly, very thickly. Let's try and get a concentrated amount. Again, very deep, very dark. Oh, I think we're going to have a fight on our hands here for the best alternative, but how wonderful that we've got options, because I really didn't know if we were going to have much success with this. I might just extend this line along a bit and get another jar. Really clean my brush off. Okay. That is lovely. Very, very nice. So while we ponder that, I think I'll just go straight into Cobalt Blue as we've got it. And so here's my Cobalt Blue deep in the palette. Lovely colour. It's a colour I use so much. It's sort of velvety. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this colour. And we have, as options, Cerulean Blue by Winsor and Newton, and we've also got Verditer. Oh, I nearly had them the wrong way around. Hang on a second. I've got Verditer Blue above from Daniel Smith. Let's try that one first. It was hard to find a blue that didn't just go straight into the ultramarine camp. A little bit more water in that mix. They look pretty good, pretty close. Okay, let's get some of that blue. I find often the real noticeable differences are when you add the water. It's hard to really tell what's going on when you've got it very concentrated, so do make sure that you try that. And now we've got Cerulean Blue that comes out. I'll just twist this around. There we are. It's not wanting to come out at all. There we go. There it is. It's a little bit sort of resistant to going nice and smooth on the brush. And that's interesting. This has just got a slightly more sky blue feel about it. And I suppose the other thing is you've got to think about when you use your colours, what are you using them for? Is it a colour that you often pick up and you pick it up to mix in with something? Because if that is the case, then you might actually want to go for one of these ones that's a little bit different to it. Now, cobalt isn't known for being, like cadmium, a great layerer, but it is also a really important factor just to see if we are replacing a colour, we want it to behave in a similar way, or we want to see if it's got qualities that might be even more useful than the previous one did. So just trying to pick up a nice sort of concentrated bit of cobalt turquoise. There we go. Get some water in there now. And just start to see what it does when layering up over something complementary like red. Okay, so let's see what our candidates do. Because with the previous set, with the reds and yellows, what was rather exciting was seeing when a colour acted like a brilliant glaze, when it suddenly lit up the colour underneath it. And you can see that that does a much more interesting lift than cobalt turquoise. That goes on very cleanly but very dark, doesn't it? But I guess it was a very dark tone when we just put it straight on the paper. But yeah, it does nicely. Okay, and then finally ultramarine turquoise. Okay, so they all layer nicely, which is good news. Still quite thick. Transparent it a bit more. And that goes on. I think the most sort of vibrant, and it's not a surprise when looking at it like this, is this one here, whereas this one feels like a closer match for that. But then in layer, in terms of the thick layer, that is quite a lot lighter and brighter than these two. And this one, okay, there's a few factors at play there. Okay, Cobalt Blue Deep. Nice, goes on nicely. Bit of water in the mix, and then a lot of water in the mix. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Verditer Blue. That's good. They do look very similar when layering. And finally, Cerulean Blue. Okay, so that is a gorgeous colour, but it's starting to, oh, wow, hardly anything on there, wow. It has become clear to me through that layering process that this Verditer Blue is going to be the best alternative for Cobalt Blue Deep. So I'll take you away. And then for these ones, I don't know, like, I mean, what do you think? Because these two are more vibrant, and I do have Winsor Blue in my palette, which is really lovely and fluorescent. So it's not so much that I need a really bright colour. I am sort of leaning towards this one because I also think it does quite a nice glaze effect. So for now, I think we're going to go with aqua green. And there you have my winning colours for my non-toxic alternatives to cadmiums and cobalts. Don't forget to check in with us next week when we put together a brand new palette for 2025. There are a few new faces, well, I'm talking about paints there, a few new faces as well as these new additions. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found that useful. Just remember, this is my personal take. Do test colours yourself, see what you love, put together palettes of colours that you think are great, and I will see you again next time. Thanks so much, bye!